because now we're starting to begin. That means you should be starting to get ready to close your eyes and relax because your body's not going. I'm going to say this for everybody. Your body and your brain does not go on these journeys. Ever. It cannot do that. It's a biological body made of molecules and atoms and DNA. It is not the source that supports and maintains the body. You are. And you're plugged into the source that supports the whole multidimensional creation. This is the truth. And getting this information as information into people helps them prepare to make these journeys. But it doesn't give them the experience. The videos people see on my channel or Perry's helps people prepare to make the journeys. But until they get over that mindless entertainment I did, they're going to watch a video and get set free. They don't make the jump into direct experience. You all went through it. I know you did. And you've made that transition. You did this on your own, through your own momentum, your own spiritual momentum, despite what was done to you. This is important, that you recognize this in yourself, each one of you. Because you're on this channel of Zoom, on these telepathically guided journeys, and it is the Atma you are that leaves and goes on the journey. It is the Atma that can comprehend the nature of the multidimensional creation through all of the layers of its being. It's spherical, like a planet or sun or moon or stars are all round. It's because they're made in the image of their creators, or if you want, creator. The source, what you would call the creator, is not an individual being. This is all wrong on Earth in every way. That's why Earth stays stuck like it is. Because people are praying and doing what they're doing without really having any real knowledge of how they're supposed to respect life out beyond Earth and the greater God and how to work with it. They don't know that on Earth. Right? They don't. So this has to be recovered in people, and they're terrified to remember it, basically. This becomes a telepathic, pure communication between spherical beings running the bodies you have. Your body starts to go into the trance state and relaxes because the hue is moving through you. It's helping you beyond your own awakened ability and masterful ability to do this, because people on Earth can't do it on their own yet. It's a simple fact. I don't guide these journeys on my own. I wouldn't even attempt it. Get Satnam and Torellian and all these other masters out there that volunteer to do this now in the hue expansion ray. Well, that's how I do them. And I wouldn't attempt to do it without them. None of these beings that go on these journeys reside on the Earth you're familiar with. Ramu doesn't reside on the Earth you know of. He resides on the third higher parallel dimension on an Earth that doesn't have the problems or pollution the one you know of does. And it's still in the physical universe. And he comes back and forth between that Earth and this Earth on missions and does things, carries out things. Unless he wants you to know he is there, you would not know he's there. A silent mentor doesn't normally never makes any contact with anybody on Earth. No one, period. Ever. They're too far evolved for that. They run the mechanics of creation, hold it all in place. They don't have time for all the silly nonsense of Earth people. That's more in the purview of master teachers on multiple levels in multiple dimensions who are out there, who have had their hands tied since the beginning. Sometimes it would take a certain master teacher 3 or 4 lifetimes of a student before they get one of them free because of the old failed experiment of good and evil. So they work hard and tirelessly, but now their hands are free because they can begin to work with people one-on-one and in groups with the hue expansion ray that has been brought into creation above the void and brought down into the lower worlds in order to make this transition from retiring the old failed experiment of good and evil, good and bad, in the consciousness within people where it doesn't belong, and putting it back outside the consciousness where positive and negative are simply two poles of a battery with energy running between them. They should never have been in our own consciousness to split our imagination in half. You know, I'm good for my family and me, but I'm terrified of the present and the future. You're also terrified of the past, too, because the past put you on this earth and it was not fun. How you ended up here. It was not by your volunteering to serve God or any of that stuff. Nope, that's people don't want to accept that, so they make up something and say, well, I'm here under contract and I'm this and that. That's true for beings outside of Earth, but not so much for people on Earth yet. That's all changing. What we're doing in these journeys is helping you recover your true free will, because you don't have it now. How can you claim you have free will if you don't even remember who you are, all your faculties in Atma, or the bodies you're running on different dimensions right now? Where's the free will in that? I don't see it. So it's important that people recover this awareness that they were made to forget, that they've lost. It's not destroyed. There's no damage in the Atma. There's nothing in the lower worlds that can damage the Atma. There's enough force thrown at it can knock it out and give it a kind of amnesia to make it not want to see the truth or fear it. That's what implants are. That's what subconscious programs do. Then they influence unconsciously your decisions on Earth. And so when you look at the whole world, you see a world full of people making conscious decisions. Well, decisions based on subconscious influences. And this is a problem because there's negativity or fear in those decisions. This is now changing, at least through the United States, where decisions are being made on common sense without fear. And that's because those people are getting a protection. They don't even know where it's coming from yet. But it's necessary. So this will bring you up to speed on what disclosure is. Disclosure isn't just about telling people from the White House that, yeah, we lied to you, we're working with extraterrestrials. We knew they were there. That's just superficial. That doesn't mean they have to change any classified system or stop lying to you, right? That's not true disclosure. True disclosure is laid out in the Savior's agenda, how it's done. And that means people from the White House would be telling the truth to people for the first time. And this would go worldwide. And we need the help of vast numbers of beings not from Earth to pull that off. It cannot be done from the unconscious state of masses of people on Earth as they are now, religiously or politically. So the greater God has to come to this planet. It hasn't been willing, hasn't even had the motivation to do that before. Think about it. Supports all life, neutral, doesn't get involved in what you imagine, but supports whatever you imagine, good and bad. You get a mix and a jumble of good and bad until you're split in half and stuck on Earth with not enough power to rise above your body consciously and remember. The first thing we do is send out the hue 5 times. 5 is a number that matches the planes where the bodies are you're running that you don't really remember very well yet. Your astral, where all emotion comes from, causal, mental, and etheric. Those are different dimensional levels. Quantum physics can prove that out. The multidimensional nature of creation, at least it can prove there's at least 11 other higher dimensions. They're speaking of major dimensions, not like parallel dimensions. 144 in each of the major divisions, like the physical, astral, causal, mental, and etheric. That's a big universe. It isn't just the billions of galaxies you see with the Hubble's telescope. It's on levels. And then you get to the astral plane, and the matter there is completely different. It's of a higher molecular time rate. And the two don't normally mix. You have spaceships on the astral plane that travel 144 parallel dimensions within that astral plane, but they don't come here. And ships from the Galactic Alliance don't go there. You understand that more, and it makes more sense to you as an Atma, and you understand it in your physical body on Earth. When enough experience happens, you've educated, you've brought this energy back with you from these journeys, and brought the IQ and intelligence capability of your body to just surrender to you to know this stuff. And then you start knowing this stuff with confidence on the planet Earth. This is what these journeys are designed to accomplish. They're not designed for you to escape. They're designed for you to recover your true free will so that you can operate without fear on all the dimensions of creation as you're meant to. And become a co-creator with the source. This is our destiny. We can't escape that. That is not changing when the hue expansion array replaces the old failed experiment of good and evil. That remains the same. Okay. I will send out the hue. Do it with me in your perfect vocal cords of the Atma, okay? Because you don't need to learn how to sing. All of you sing in perfect pitch as an Atma. We're not talking about your vocal cords. I use mine for this because the body is asleep. It's in the trance state. It doesn't matter if my eyes are open or closed. I'm already out in space by Terrellian. So now we're going to get you out there. And this is simple, easy. You imagine going to the store and get in your car and go, right? Without any problem. But it's the Atma that's seeing where you want to go, not your brain. It's not your brain that cannot imagine anything. The intelligence is not in your brain, other than the experiences of how to run the multi-dimensional or the multifaceted aspects of a physical, human, twin-stranded DNA neural system through the brain. That's what the brain's for. But your real mental capability comes from your body on the mental plane, 4 major divisions up from the physical. How are you going to get well and recover if you don't even know that? Well, you can't, can you? So these journeys are designed to help people recover all of who they are on all of the levels. We will be doing more of these journeys through the etheric, mental, causal, and astral on these journeys to help you bring back that enlightenment. You have to go out beyond Earth and go get it, and then bring it back here for your body, consciousness, and life on Earth to change at all. It can't be dumped on your head when you're full of fears or religious brainwashing. I'm not saying any religion's that or bad or good. It's just that they limit the imagination inside Earth's atmosphere, all of them. They don't really give people the ability to trust themselves to see beyond Earth as they normally should. So this normalcy is what's being brought back to you now. And you are all co-creating this. You have already taken charge of subconscious fears and terrors, or you could not be on this journey tonight. You're doing it despite all of that, while the rest of your fellow human beings are not yet there. They can't make that leap yet. As the energy of the hue increases to charge Earth's H2O, these are 2 gases, first 2 atoms in creation, blended together make something, what? Water? Out of 2 gases? Now think about it. It's set up to store the hue on planets in the water systems of those planets. Professor Gerald Pollack, I shouldn't name anybody's name, I'm not promoting what he does. I'm not. It's just that he proved that there are many states of water. So I'm simply saying what has already been proven. Multidimensional capable, actually. It's telepathic to it. It can be piezoelectric. You can put pressure on it or heat it. It'll emit a current like quartz crystals do that. So water is a key to communicating across time and space, beyond time and space, beyond the speed of light that is not limited, because it is a telepathic medium that Atmas use to communicate with each other. When we're in space, there's no water. So we do this from being to being, Atma to Atma. And this is something that does not require water. But when you're on a planet running a body in an atmosphere that's depleted of it, and the water and the oceans are so they don't glow, makes it tough. You don't have a surrounding energy that's supportive of you raising upward in consciousness. So this is something this work brings to your consciousness for the first time in the entire creation on a planet like Earth, to help you become aware that one of the secrets to fixing a planet is in the water itself. And this has to come from the upper worlds, above the void. It's the omnipresent living power that charges water systems. On planets where this is done, they don't have tornadoes and volcanoes and earthquakes. Get real. Who wants to live like that? More advanced people don't have to live like that, and they don't. So, when people are ready to invite them, scared to death, they will be, but there'll be enough courage awakened and enough people to invite them to come here. And they will land. And then they can bring their technology and training and fix everything here and correct it and get them like their worlds are. This is underway. There isn't anybody on Earth in any political power that can stop this. It's beyond their misdirected free will. Quite beyond them. And they do this because otherwise the people in charge now would blow this planet up. They would have done it already. You need to know this so that you don't have fear of nuclear weapons going off, because they can't use them. So the rest of that is malarkey. It's just social brainwashing. It's designed to keep the status quo in place, how governments and religions are now, not change that, not upset the apple cart. So it has to come into changing the apple cart in a way that will not be destructive, so people won't riot in the streets over water and toilet paper and paper towels like they did with COVID. Really? They think they're ready to meet beings, fellow beings from other worlds where they actually came from and don't remember this? That's why fear is the only thing that we're required to give up in eternity. Just that. After all of our experiences running all the bodies and all the times and space of all the dimensions, over many billions of years, there's only one thing that you drop to become a co-creator with Source and run those bodies as an Atma. And that is fear, because fear, when it was brought into creation, was designed to be erasable and replaced with something else. This is what you need to know. I will send out the hue now. Do it with me, please. Hue. What happens there is we're adding our Atma energy, our connection, to the vortex that's been created by master teachers already prepared for us. What is required in their training us, or awakening us, is that we contribute to everything we do with them, not just sit back and have it done to us. You know, apathy, sitting on your butt, not being active. That doesn't work, never has. So they have to help you wake up enough to contribute something to your own enlightenment. In a sense, it is free, but we have to earn it. We have to do our part. So the hue connects through all the planes we talked about, and then it connects to the void and higher. The fifth one crosses over the etheric into the void. And then that vortex, that hourglass-shaped vortex, that interdimensional doorway, is created to run bypass the lower planes of time and space, into the void, up into the U Expansionary Academy, up through the higher realities, into Agam Purusha's realm, and then back to the source of Prime Creator. It actually goes higher than that. But you guys aren't ready to explore the realm of the silent mentors. That's a little bit further up from the ocean of sound and light, from Source, from Prime Creator. And up above that is the Hue Expansion Ray plane. Now, way back a few years ago, I took a few people that far. But it's a little too far for them. to bring back useful awareness from there to apply it to Earth, because it's so far removed from your life on Earth. It's incomprehensible to a brain and body on Earth completely. So as an Atma, you're capable of all this. As a body and brain, you're not. You run that. It's not you. You're actually smart enough as an Atma to run that through the pineal gland, sending an energy beam into it to animate it. You're the charge that makes the body work, or it's just a machine. It's like a car. And the key's not turned on, it just sits there. This is really how your body is animated. When it's born, you run it, or it dies. That's it. Either somebody runs it as an Atma, or it doesn't work. It needs another party stepping into that machine, called a genetic entity, for it to run. Once you know this, it begins to change your world, because you cannot forget it on these telepathic journeys. Once it goes through you, that's it. These awareness changes are not reversible at all. What would be the point of doing this work if they were? So when you imagine going to the store, it is not your brain, which they teach you on Earth. It's a mystery to them. It's all theory. That must be this part of the brain or that part. This is where imagination comes from. They're making that up. They haven't got a clue where it comes from. They think some brain cells must project an image on some other brain cells like that. Pretty silly to teach that in universities to people. It's baloney. Imagination, the ability to see into the nature of the universe, comes from the different levels of the spherical being as the Atma you are, made of the source energy itself. Obviously, that is the truth. And I will be strong sometimes with the channel of the hue that comes through me with you in order to give you what's called a spiritual shock. Shake you awake out of that stupor and amnesia of not knowing and being afraid to know and all that kind of stuff. It's just subconscious garbage. And it is external to the Atma. It floats in the energy field that surrounds you, through which you see the universe distorted. All of you know that now. So when you feel fear of the present or future, it's coming from out there somewhere that has not yet been mastered or hasn't yet been cleaned out and replaced with the hue expansion ray, which provides a certain intelligence and wisdom to you so that you will never be vulnerable to be trapped again by any race or being and stuffed in a body without your awareness or consent. Now that makes perfect common sense. This hue, when it comes through in this way, I'm not the only one doing it. Sat Nam, Silent Mentors, Torellian, Etta, Din, Ramu, Opalum, Lightsea, thousands of others, millions of others are doing it with us. On Earth, the H2O in the planet's water system, since it's depleted, doesn't make much of a good... If you're a real good shaman or something, as some Indians are around the planet, they can make telepathic connections to other planets through water systems, big lakes, oceans, things like that. And they know how to do it. But who on Earth in scientific or political circles is going to listen to a bunch of savages, if you know what I mean? That's how they think about them. Primitives. None of it's true. They're just simple. Are you okay there, Renata? You getting up? You're going to sit down. There you go. Relax. Relax. Yeah, relax. But you'll be able to play this over again, Renata, so don't worry about that. Where you are on Earth, as your body is in the trance state called sleep, the same way you put it in every night, you are hovering near the ceiling where you live, looking down on that body. This is just out-of-body 101, you know? It's basics. You don't need to learn how to do this. That's tricking yourself into remaining complacent. You already know how to do that. You do it every night. You leave your body every night when you put it to sleep. That's why it's unconscious, because you're not there. Get it? You got to get this. The awareness you are as a being is not coming from your brain, body, or personality of that genetic entity. but it's alive because you're giving it energy to run it. Pure hue energy that moves through you. That's through the pineal gland, the center of the brain, to run the whole body. It is also the doorway we leave through, in a sense, when we go beyond the body, safely put it in a protected trance state called sleep, and then go on these journeys. My voice acts as a telepathic medium to help you stay focused and aware while your body's asleep. It doesn't matter if you hear noises through your ears in the body, around the home or outside. That's a protective mechanism. Even when you're asleep, your ears kind of stay on in case you need to be alerted to something crashing through your house or some kind of an emergency. But you are in the trance state called sleep when you close your eyes, because it shuts off the outer connection to the physical planet Earth. And your vision becomes singular, the proverbial third eye. The ability to see in every direction, 360 degrees, as a spherical being. If you think of the planet or the sun as being an Atma, you would be correct, but not as you understand an Atma. And it can see in 360 degrees because it is spherical. Get it? This is what we do when we're out of the body. We see whatever we focus on. More advanced beings can see in multiple directions at the same time and comprehend them. More advanced beings can communicate with a body form they project to at least 7 different people and places at once. Tyrellian does that. I've seen that. Ramu can do that, not quite as advanced as Tyrellian, but certainly capable of it. I don't know what he does now, but he's probably that evolved too. I don't know. Pelham is very ancient. So you're near the ceiling, and there's a Galactic Alliance couple hovering beside you, a man and a woman. They are there dressed in Galactic Alliance uniforms, about 6 feet tall, about 36, perfectly handsome, perfectly beautiful. But then you're hovering in between them, and you're projecting a body form, a prototype original form that is dressed, and if you're a woman, perfectly beautiful. If you're a man, perfectly, flawlessly handsome. These are not physical bodies. They are forms you project to experience sense, taste, sight, touch, sound, smell on different planets in connecting to bodies you're running on the various planes, like etheric, mental, causal, astral, and physical. And so it communicates that body to this one, and that communicates to the Atma. But it is not a physical body. It has no negative nature, no subconscious mind. And you know that that couple has left their body. They have left their body. Aboard the Emerald Star Cruiser, stationed in our solar system by the Galactic Alliance, it's not the only one. Scientists, the most classified people, know these ships are there. They know there's a pyramid between 2 stable asteroids. They can't do anything with them, affect them in any way. They can't do anything to them. And they're basically in fear of what they are, because they think, first of all, that must be maybe adversarial. Maybe it's an alien race going to attack. That's how they think. It's way beyond that nonsense. And they will not ever be able to control anything that's being done through them now, fortunately for us. They have been told this directly, and they have been told countless times to disclose to the public of this planet. And they've been very patient. They're going to cooperate now, as the United States is starting to do, or it will be done without them in their involvement. It'll be done to the people of Earth without them, which would be very embarrassing for them when people find out that they would not cooperate. There's no one's going to be shot and put up against a wall or anything like that. But they are going to be set free of the fear that misdirects their thinking. Of course they are. And you know these couples are sitting in egg-shaped blue cushion chairs by oval glass-top blue tables aboard the Emerald Star Cruiser. This couple, assigned to each one of you. They look like Shantiel and Tonaltiel and Dantiel and Lamtiel, many others. You've had them described before, so I won't do that here. The white golden light of the Hue expansion ray is moving down like little tiny microscopic drops of golden water, flowing through your roof, through you, through the Galactic Alliance couple, right through your body. You can see a big energy field around it, big spherical energy field. Comes out the bottom of your spine, goes in the top of your head. Looks like the one around the Atma that's hovering near the ceiling. The outside of the Atma. That's the electromagnetic field. It's a field that's created by planets and beings to remain stable between other beings, to float in the omnipresent first sound behind creation when we're in space. So we remain buoyant in this vast field of energy. There's a brighter flash of light, and you find yourself in outer space outside of Earth's atmosphere, standing in a circle of beings around Ambassador Terrellian of the Say-Rays human race. Terrellian and the Say-Rays are responsible for seeding and bringing genetic body forms like human, four-stranded and much more evolved human forms in other lives, up on worlds so the Atmas could run these higher genetic consciousnesses and still stay conscious and run things and have experience. They were responsible for seeding life on many worlds in the astral plane, a whole 144 parallel dimensions of it, and 144 parallel dimensions of the physical universe. And when they did that and succeeded in bringing up the spacefaring capability, none of them were evil. They left. They departed, having contact with the Galactic Alliance and anybody else, except for with beings like, say, Opelum and Ramu and certain beings they remained in contact with, but the mass of people, no. They wanted to see what we would do with it, and we all know what that is. Not a pretty picture. So they went through a change, and they've returned, not just to this galaxy, but into making their presence known through this work. They will not step foot on Earth, such beings, until sometime after Earth is transformed. First Galactic Alliance, people from the stars, many varieties of human and humanoid and other races will come here. And then Earth will change. Political and religious systems will evolve. And they won't have any other choice not to, because to do nothing makes them destructive, ultimately. Against each other, governments against governments, as long as their imagination is split in half, they are negative. They don't realize this, but really anything that keeps people from recovering what they are as a soul, as an Atma, knowing they're not a body and have never been one, is negative. It cannot be misunderstood as being positive. It is not. I don't blame these people because they can't help themselves. What was done to them was done to all of us. What was done to reptilians to murder people and stick them in bodies just for fun, sadistically, because they lost a war, they did it because they were more heavily brainwashed than people on Earth. They are being set free from that. They're not in our solar system. They're not in classified bases, and the little grays are abducting anybody and haven't for decades. It's time people on Earth came up to present time about this disclosure thing, because it's way beyond what they think it is. In space, everything around you is a white golden light. It's not black or dark blue like you see in a Space Hubble telescope image. You are an Atma, and you can see it for what it is. It's just outside the frequency range of human eyes on Earth to see it. So it appears black or blue or dark blue or something. But it isn't. And it's not a void. It's packed full of a living energy. But it's not molecular energy. It doesn't observe the laws of physics. It's not molecular. There's no DNA. It is the majority of energy in creation. Little things like galaxies float in this much more vast energy. That'll give you a perspective of who's doing what and in what way. The omnipresent first sound, the hue expansion ray, supports all creation, all the dimensions, all the portals, all the worlds, all the galaxies, everything. But is a neutral power. It doesn't get into positive and negative and who's right and who's wrong. It just supports people in their misuses of their imagination, good and bad. That too is beginning to change. You can see Ambassador Turellian standing 18 feet tall in the center of the beings. We're in a circle around him. The Galactic Alliance man and woman are standing beside you. This is the body form that is flawless, I told you about, that we know how to show each other when fear is not involved. They're keeping your fears, your subconscious, whatever's left in implants or fear, turned off for the journey. Otherwise, we couldn't make these journeys. The Atma that is Turellian is hovering above the form he's showing you. It's bigger and more beautiful than us in a way that it's brighter, but it's an Atma. So are we. Ramu is near Earth in a circle of beings between several of you. Opelum is further out in space opposite him in a circle of beings between several of us. He's to my right. Margaret's to my left. And down around there, a few of you, and then there's Ramu. Etta and Din are hovering above Turellian with their tails glowing, showing you the body forms they have back in Oceania. These are master teachers. They are not human. 3 feet long. On their atmosphere worlds, they evolved as a species, silica-based, not carbon, to fly and defy gravity and fly through the air. They levitate around, basically. They have a thumb, individual fingers, big toe, little toes, just like a human. Arms and appendages, similar, but they're more like from the root of their very tip of their tail to the end of their snout. Big bulbous blue eyes, pale green skin. And they stand upright on their hind legs like a person, not like a lizard. They are citizens of Oceania on the other side of the galaxy. That's Opelum's planet. It is in the third higher parallel dimension of the physical universe. It's a real world. If you flew there in a ship in the space you see with Hubble telescopes, you wouldn't find it. Or you'd find a world there that's not as evolved in the physical parallel here. But if you go up in frequency to a slightly higher time rate of molecular plant matter, then you'd see Oceania. This is common knowledge to Galactic Alliance people. Not a mystery. And above him is Light Sea, a venerable, ancient, once Chinese master. Now he only has an etheric body, which he's brought here. Vibrant, much higher form of physical nature than you have on Earth. Big Atma hovering above it. Little maroon robe, esoteric symbols, little hat, little Fu Manchu beard, about 5'6", short guy. He's a powerhouse. And he teaches in the etheric plane and in the Hue Expansion Ray Academy, in the big pyramid that has the tree of life, grounded to the center of the floor. That tree of life connects to a bigger one in Agam Purusha's realm. There are other master teachers in between the couples here, from the Galactic Alliance, some of them from other dimensions. Are going on the journey with us, both to be supportive and to experience more themselves. It's practical. They don't just serve you or your selfish interests. They're there to benefit you, but we're there to benefit them. Think of it that way. They see our potential and what potential that would be in contributing to Source as co-creators. That's what Trillian looks at. That's what I look at. The sound of this golden white light is like a deep humming, almost a little rumbling. No lightning, kind of like thunder, but gentle. It's the sound the physical universe makes out in space, because space is the hue. Divine spirit, whatever you want to call it. It's one living power. More advanced races that travel the stars understand this, and they work in harmony with it. People on Earth don't even understand it. They understand it's there and call it zero-point or toroidal energy, the energy of the universe. They know it does not observe the laws of physics. And it's the majority of energy that exists. All the things like galaxies and planets and stars are tiny fractions in a vast energy that they float in. We float in it just like a galaxy does. But we're not made of matter like galaxies are. There's the difference. You can see the Earth and the Moon, the barren moon, orbiting the planet, polar ice caps, the one sun off in the distance, the billions of multicolored stars that surround us in our Milky Way Galaxy. And you can see that Trillian is holding his closed fist with thumbs up. And you look up and see beyond light sea, Satnam standing below an hourglass-shaped, golden, clockwise whirling, interdimensional vortex. It's made of energy from the void and higher. It is master over the lower world's energies of time and space. This is easy stuff. Satnam is there in his little white tunic dress from his waist down, bare-chested, strongly built, about 6 feet, 36-ish, gold eyes, not yellow, bronze-skinned, bald head, 2 gold bracelets on each of his upper arms, a big Atma, much brighter and bigger than us. And he's made his presence, he usually hangs out in the Atma plane above the void. Beside him are 2 couples, alternating male, female, left and right, wearing a different colored pastel single gown or robe on, bare feet, long hair, different colored hair, down to their shoulders. Hovering above them is an Atma 4 times bigger than us, with twice as many teardrop-shaped faculties and colored layers than we have. These are silent mentors. When you look at their face, it's a white light. You don't see facial features. They don't show us what we expect to see. They have a physical appearing form, but you can't see facial features. When you look into those white faces, you see multiple levels and dimensions of galaxies. It's how they think. It's how they are. The energy coming through this whirling golden white hourglass-shaped vortex has a blue-green water-like flow about, 100 feet thick or something. This is a big vortex. Slowly working around the outside of this energy, and it's created a doorway bypassing the lower planes of time and space on purpose. We're going to go into the hue now, and to do it with me, we're going to go through many higher tones, and we're going to add our contribution to brightening this vortex. We're adding our energy to the journey with them. This is required. We need to be active a little bit. Meditation is designed to still the mind and emotions, but that's only the beginning. People get stuck in the beginning. Once those are stilled, then you become very active creatively and imaginatively, because that's where nirvikalpa samadhi and higher conscious states come in. Active. Not sitting on your butt, picking flowers, playing harps, naked on a cloud in some heaven somewhere. That's not the way the upper worlds work at all. So, and we know this down deep. I'm going to send these tones out now. Do them with me. You'll have perfect singing voices as an Atma. That makes a connection to Source itself through all the dimensions above the void. The vortex will move with us when we go on this journey. It will always be above us. You see Torellian point with one of his fists with his thumbs up, with his foot-thick, wider, brighter golden white light around than the hue and space around us, because it's coming down through the vortex. It's creating an oval, transparent light around us like the hull of a spaceship to keep us all in this circle of beings focused on this one journey. As a flash of brighter light from him, we find ourselves suddenly projected above the Milky Way Galaxy, way out in the hue of space. Big distances between the galaxies. Andromeda's nearest neighbor. You can see it hovering there, slightly bigger than our galaxy. And you're looking down on a location, fourth spiral arm out of 7, opposite side from where the Earth is, which is 2/3 of the way out one spiral arm. You can see it lit up. And then you go over 4, and there's a world, a series of suns in the middle of that spiral arm. And we suddenly project a flash of light, and this oval light around us takes us to hover above a world. You can see we're hovering above a planet 4 times bigger than Earth. No polar ice caps. Several continents around its surface, North and South Pole. Beautiful, luminous blue, slightly tinged green oceans, radiant with light. The atmosphere water vapor glows. The water on the oceans of this planet glow a foot above the calm ocean surface. These are planets that are normal in our galaxy that are charged with the hue. There are 3 special worlds where this is conducted, these experiments, in the Milky Way and in the Andromeda Galaxy, our nearest neighbor, simultaneously. This isn't just about you on Earth or our galaxy. The purpose is training and experimental facilities run by silent mentors and master teachers, Galactic Alliance personnel, many are master teachers, to develop new ways, technology, and transformation energy rays to fix humans, animals, sea life, birds on planet Earth, among many others. They're 1/2 way down the 4th spiral arm of our galaxy, away from the spiral arm out of 7 where Earth is located. The planets revealed during this journey circle a trinary star system. A big light blue young sun at the center, and a big yellow sun much larger than the sun on Earth circles that, but smaller than it, than the blue one. And then further out is a giant red, like a red giant, expanded sun. You might say it's nearing its life, but it could last another 100 million, billion years, whatever, more than that. The planet we're looking at is called Zontraya. It is located in the 5th orbital position around the trinary star system. It has 5 moons the size of Earth orbiting it, all with no polar ice caps, domed cities and various land masses, and oceans. Silent mentors and advanced master teachers work here together to get a handle on new ways to create doing things, to retire the old failed experiment of good and evil in the multi-dimensional universe below the void by replacing it with the Hue expansion ray. This is done here to eventually bring what works here at some point to Earth and other troubled worlds, to transform humanity. Only adult human beings run by conscious atmas on this world that freely work here are tested with new ways to get subconscious blocks and fears neutralized. Ancient problems and beings who explored the lower worlds long ago. The second planet is called Ontoron. It is located on another planet in the 6th orbital position around the trinary star group. Here there are only human and a few other races of children being run by advanced conscious masterful atmas to bring into creation new ways to correct the unconscious states of children on planets like Earth and other worlds in the lower worlds of time and space. And we're suddenly transported, surrounding Lemriel, to the 3rd planet, which is called Temasculine, and it's located on the 7th planetary orbit further out from the trinary sun system. Here only animals, plants, birds, mammals, and sea life with very advanced atmas running them conduct experiments to create and then implement new ways to free the atmas running these bodies that are twisted and misdirected, so that an awakening respect for the atmas running mammals, animals, birds, and sea life, etc., and respectful kindness is awakened at some point in people like those misdirected humans living on Earth. And man, are they misdirected. This is also going on planets in similar locations within our nearest galactic neighbor galaxy we call Andromeda. These 3 worlds, 3 times larger than Earth, 4 times actually, with a number of moons the size of Earth orbiting them, have no polar ice caps. Understand, these experimental worlds in the Milky Way Galaxy and in the Andromeda Galaxy have corresponding planets for developing new ways of implementing an unexpected uplifting transformation for the terribly misguided and misdirected people of planet Earth and other planetary systems. Experiments that are developed and then tested to work are then inspired to be created on these worlds, so that what is done there can at some point be brought to Earth as part of the new Hue expansion ray energy, now moving for the first time within the omnipresent living one power, first sound behind creation, that emanates directly from Source, or Prime Creator. And we find ourselves clear up above, instantly above the Milky Way Galaxy in the vast golden white void. It's not really a void, is it? It's got a living single energy in it, a conscious living power. That's the real life force, not the planets, not the people, not the bodies, not the suns. Those are experimental playgrounds where they should have been. You can see this hourglass vortex above us still, whirling clockwise. The blue-green light whirling at a slower rate clockwise around the inner one. And Satnam, the Atma hovering above, moves up into the void. So do the silent mentors, the couples to each side of him. And then suddenly, with a flash from Lemriel's thumbs, this oval light around us darts upward, following them up into the vortex, we are instantly shot all the way up through the lower planes, passing them, and we come out into the void itself, above the etheric plane, way out into the center of this area that's vaster than all of the galaxies and dimensions in the lower planes. It's called a void to certain groups on Earth, but it is not the realm of the Supreme Being as they think. It is pure hue expansion ray energy, pure first sound, and there are beings operating here that you will not see until you're ready to see them. I have met them, and I have passed the test to respect them. They don't look human at all. You cannot bring negative nature with you here. That is quite impossible. You cannot bring ego with you here, or the personality of your life on Earth. None of that stuff remains turned off with your sleeping body back on Earth. When we're in the void, in every direction you see this brilliant light, but I call it a pale blue, cobalt blue light everywhere. It's beautiful, but it can't be described in human terms on Earth. You have to experience it as the Atma. We're moving upward, spiraling upward. Instantly, we suddenly stop to hover above. We've come to the upper end of the void, and we are hovering above a luminous diamond white sandy beach, wide, curves gently to the left and right, and then curves inward, meaning it's circling a vast circular landmass. There are no planets or moons or suns or stars here. These are held in place by silent menders and other masterful beings, maintained, just like the galaxy called Milky Way is maintained by beings. They don't just pop out of nowhere and run themselves. How stupid can people be? Oh, we can't get to those galaxies because the light it's limited. They'll never get to us and we can't get to them. That traps their consciousness on Earth. They're so silly. They measure it inside Earth with physical consciousness from Earth, and they're making big mistakes because they already know the void out there is not relative to physics or the speed of light. There is no limit to the speed of light. They come up with these terms, ultraviolet, infrared, X-rays, to describe different levels of the hue expansion ray. Those can't be seen by human eyes, so their instruments electronically detect them. But the Atma can see them. Those scientists, were they consciously out of their bodies, could see them too, and their science would change instantly and dramatically on this planet. The reason you can comprehend these extraterrestrial, technological, other dimensional terms is because you once knew them and you were once part of them. And this was not a big deal for your advanced intelligence to understand them. We're talking about bodies you were running before your life on Earth. You don't need to recover these advanced geniuses. They're yours. But they do have to be awakened when fear is put down, when fear is let go of, when fear is neutralized. They surface. You can see the jungle trees, every kind of tree you can imagine. Luminous. The trunks of the trees are transparent. The hue expansion ray is moving up and down them continuously. There are birds hovering above these trees in the hundreds, about a foot long, long V-shaped split tails, double bird wings, one set above the other. Kind of like a dragonfly, but birds. Big blue eyes, look kind of like a blue jay. And they're flying up to each one of you, hovering 1 foot in front of the face that you show each other that looks human. And they're sending a beam of this pure light right into your third eye area. Now, this body is not molecular in nature, so it goes through the whole body and then goes up into the white core of your being, hovering above it. It is a gift. That beam of light contains 1 grain of the sand on that beach. And if you hold it up close, you'll see that it's round, polished, glowing like a diamond. But it's a spherical diamond. It's not faceted. That energy represents your awakening ability to know your life that as it existed and exists beyond the void before you started playing in the lower worlds of time and space. The birds retreat to the trees. And we find ourselves moving around Tyrellian, across the top of the jungle and into the distance. And you can see there is a fountain below us as we stop. It has a statue of Satnam. It's white scalloped edged fountain, 15 feet wide, with a circular shaft coming out of 100-foot in diameter white stone floor. 7 concentric layers of botanical gardens in widening rows surround this central point. A white shaft of golden light is coming down to the statue of Satnam. He's hovering beside it, pointing to it. His palms are open, hands down at his sides, and the energy's flowing through his open palms, filling the bowl, drops around the outer edge in a glowing, golden, luminous white sheet, and disappears in the ground behind a circular, donut-shaped, flat, marble-like white seat. 12 scrolled legs support this. At other times you can come here and sit there and drink from this fountain, which looks like water, but it isn't. In the distance you can see a long diagonal, snow-covered blue stone mountain range. At the base of it is a crystalline-type palatial estate, quite long. In the center of it is a 4-sided, golden-sided pyramid with a quartz crown, supported by 2 big, Greek-like, Roman-like, lapis lazuli stone gold-laced pillars. At the bottom of it, underneath it, is a chair, like polished blue transparent quartz, rounded smooth edges, no cushion. A shaft of light is coming down into this crystal on the top of this pyramid, hitting the chair, moving through it downward, and it goes down into the lower worlds from here. The beam coming from above is coming from Source itself. Beyond the chair in the background, on this golden luminous floor, it looks like quartz, about a foot thick, is a triangular opening, and in the base of the mountains there is a massive fountain. It is a blue scalloped edge fountain, probably several hundred feet across, with a blue-green luminous Christmas tree-like bunch of light moving up and down in it, and a shaft or cylindrical white golden light coming down into it from Source. Tyrellian has us all projected right through that opening and into and up into the beam above this tree, and then we're shot upward. We come out the other end instantly, and we are now in a specially created parallel dimension between the top of Satnam's realm, the Atma plane, where you originally embarked on all your missions in the lower world, and the 6th plane, and there are many planes above that. Now we are in a much brighter cobalt blue atmosphere or space than in Satnam's realm. There's a diamond-like beach, like the one in Satnam's realm, surrounding the outer circumference of this huge circular floating landmass, floating in the center of this brilliant cobalt blue light. You can see the white golden light of you mixed with it, moving behind it, supporting it. In the center of this landmass are 6 mountains in a circle, white, white like snow-covered blue stone mountains. It's not snow, by the way. And it's an island, a circular island, with a cylindrical blue glass-like tower coming out of the outer circumference of it. Tapers inward, goes to a flattened oval, like an administrative center, with a fountain in it, no statue of Satnam. Goes up to a minaret point. A shaft of golden white light is coming down into this and down into the other worlds. It's one of many doorways here. We suddenly find ourselves inside the oval area, in a circle around Tyrellian, inside and above this fountain. Blue scalloped edges. No statue of Satnam. More powerful white golden light coming down into it, filling it, dropping down the shaft of this tower. We know that goes to a pedestal in the center of the island, 4 feet rectangular high. A blue like lapis lazuli stone with smooth polished edges support a 4 foot in diameter crystalline blue sphere with a radiant cobalt blue star in the center of it. That connects to the hollowed out interior of the U Expansion Ray Academy. That is the teaching realm of the silent mentors, one of many. You can look out over the Hue Expansionary Academy. You look down the base of these mountains, and you can see a horseshoe-shaped golden tunnel. There's a white stone roadway, brilliant stone, coming out of each one, and they extend straight as an arrow all the way to the beach through massive countrysides. They look like spokes from the hub of a bicycle all the way around the circumference. And each road to the left and right every so often is a clearing. There are individual training facilities in the Hue Expansionary Academy. This is co-manned by master teachers and silent mentors. It's the one place where we can rub shoulders with silent mentors. They will not do it with us in the lower planes at all. So we have to go where they are, obviously. There's a training facility out in the northwestern quadrant, down a roadway running through the center of that quadrant, that 1/4 of this vast circular landmass. And about halfway down or so is a left turn into a clearing. We're suddenly there. And we can see a series of fountains and pyramids with fountains in them that are kind of the shape of a galaxy, 12 of them, circling the land, from a central point. There are 3 pyramids in the center, each of a different color, quartz crowned. No planets or moons or suns or stars here, just the cobalt blue atmosphere of the space above it, because they aren't needed. Everything here produces its own light. Suns are not necessary. From the void upward, suns don't exist, nor do planets. Whatever is here is held in place and manifested by beings. Doesn't work the same way as in the lower worlds. And we're suddenly surrounding a fountain in the center of these 3 pyramids. It has a Christmas tree-like light, blue-green, also above it, with a cylindrical golden white light coming down into it. You can see a silent mentor couple hovering to each side of this beam. And then you see a silent mentor couple hovering to each side of you and the Galactic Alliance couple that came here with you. You are standing in a circle around this mountain. Satnam is on one side of Trillian, I'm on the other, and we are inside this beam of light. You can see us inside this Christmas tree type thing. The silent mentors hovering above these different pyramids are moving an energy from source through themselves, the big spherical beings above the body forms they show you, right through you, through the Atma you are, down through the form you show each other, and then it goes right inside the central shaft of light coming down to feed this mountain. The energy moves simultaneously both ways, but it is not positive and negative. The energy then moves down the fountain through us and Trillian and through you and back through and into the silent mentors, up the tops of the energy coming into these pyramids. The countryside cannot be described in human terms. It's too beautiful. Every single water system is well laid out, glowing. They all connect to the radiant, luminous ocean of light and sound that surrounds the Hue Expansionary Academy. And Trillian has us all back inside this oval golden sphere, golden oval, projects us out into the ocean. You can see as we move across the top of the Hue Expansionary Academy, we're heading directly west. There are 12 different white islands surrounding the outside of the landmass, floating in this cobalt blue space. They have these pyramids and a fountain in each one. Some have a single pyramid, some have two, some have three. But there's a silent mentor couple hovering above them. They are teaching facilities, all 12 of them. They are connected to the 12 trees inside the hollowed out interior of the Hue Expansionary Academy, with 12 silent mentors, alternating male and female, standing above them. They're all connected. And Tyrellian moves us out into the ocean between two of these pyramid, clear domes covering these pyramids on these islands, and then a vortex opens up, moving upward. We go up this vortex, and it's the same hourglass-shaped vortex that came with us. We instantly come out the other side to find ourselves in Agam Purusha's realm, many dimensions above here. We are in a fiery, violent area. It doesn't harm us. It's fiery red and green and orange and blue and purple and lavender and just swirling around, coming out of the floor, disappearing into the background. And then a massive, luminous, multi-dimensional spherical being approaches us. That's Agam Purusha. In the distance, you can tell he's telling you telepathically, look into the distance of this fiery energy that he controls. The pure, unmanifested raw energy of eternity. You see a massive silver golden tree with roots bigger than planets coming down, disappearing into the mist below us. There's no solid floor here. The top of the tree extends beyond sight. The trunk of the tree is transparent. He has given us permission to go into it. Tyrellian then takes us inside that trunk of the tree, and we're shot upward at tremendous speed. We come out the other end into an even more massive space that is a radiant cobalt blue light. We are in the realm of Prime Creator, Source. We have to get permission from Agam Purusha to go here, or you don't go. We don't bring any of the nature of our human self or egos or problems with us here. No negative nature can come with you on this journey. Just you, the Atma. We're moving at tremendous speed into the distance. We see a single silver golden massive galaxy turning on its axis with a huge luminous core like the Milky Way. At first, it looks like they're individual stars orbiting this center. And as we pass between two of them, there's a vast space between them. These are individual beings. And as we sail through the levels of these beings, we recognize that we are still here. You are all still here. You never left. And then we shout into the middle of this galactic core, into the inner third of it. There's a white disc-shaped island floating in the middle of it. Hovering above it is a massive Atma-like being. Thousands of layers of teardrop colors, beyond breathtaking. The sound coming from this and from the being surrounding it is like singing. It's like humming the hue collectively. And it's hovering above this island. And then we're shot right in between the outer teardrop faculties of this, what we call source. And we see there's vast space between each of these teardrop-shaped faculties, just like us. And then we're shot into the white core center of it. And we can tell that the white core of us is identical to the white core of this massive presence. It is not an individual. It is a nexus, a central point at which all souls, all Atmas connect. Despite illusions and aberrations and lost memories, they're all connected here, beyond time and space. And then you hear a voice tell you in a deep baritone voice with subtle angelic, crystalline type qualities of a feminine, welcome home. It takes courage to come this far. And now that you are here, you are destined to become conscious, trustworthy co-creators with the presence that I represent. Now you must go back, or your bodies on earth would perish. We're out in the cobalt blue light, away from the center of this one galaxy. When we're in the center of that white light, there is no physical appearing form around you. Just the Atma. And then we're inside this oval light. Trillian is maintaining. And we're shot downward at tremendous speed. We stop on the other end of the void. Just above the etheric plane, there's an aurora borealis, a rainbow light like a barrier. And we pass through it. We are now in the etheric realm. Many major divisions above what you call the physical universe, but below the void. And you are standing on a massive, I guess you could call it a island, but everything's transparent here. You're wearing beautiful clothing that's radiant and shimmers, and you're transparent. The Atma, you are, is hovering above this form. Its eyes are closed, standing on steps leading up to Greek-like palatial estates, also glowing, also crystalline. Each one of you standing on a different one in front of a different palatial estate. And then Satnam and Trillian appear beside you and send a shock of the Hue expansion ray to wake up that body. To wake it up so it sees up into the void, into Satnam's realm, and sees where we just came from. This is being communicated directly to this form that did not have this before. And then it's compelled to look down and see the next dimension below, the mental plane, and we're suddenly there. And there are world systems here that you could call islands in eternity. These are big planets, and they're tropical. And you're standing on a balcony with a half-disc-shaped white balcony behind three just geodesic-type transparent domes. They're not even geodesic, they're just clear domes. Some of you are sitting down with a cup of tea. Some are standing up. And then Satnam and Trillian appear beside you. Your eyes are closed. They send this same energy into you to kick your butt, so to speak. And it wakes up and stands up, and it compelled to look upward to see the etheric body looking down to it. They connect. And then they look down into the causal plane. And suddenly we're in the causal plane. There are thousands of tropical islands here, the size of continents. And your feet are bare, standing in a luminous blue or green or yellow or red or golden beach, charged with the hue, still unconscious in some ways. And you're standing, well-dressed. If you're a male, perfect, flawless compared to a human body. Not the one you project and show each other, which is not a physical form, even in the causal plane. And then Trillian and Satnam appear beside you and send an energy to you and compel you to look up to see the mental body looking down to you. And then it compels it to look down to your astral, into the astral realm. We're in a particular parallel dimension there where there are millions of islands surrounded by a radiant blue ocean. And you're standing on a wooden kind of a deck. These are very advanced homes. They don't look like homes on Earth. They function differently. Everything is built here from emotion. All matter is moved by emotion. And you're standing on that deck, eyes closed. And this was set up before we went on the journey. And Trillian and Satnam appear beside you, send an energy into you, and that body wakens and looks up to see the causal body looking down to it. And the connection is made. And it looks down to your physical body. It looks down to you hovering near the ceiling on Earth and can see the physical body that's in the trance state called sleep. Here you're projecting that perfect human form near the ceiling out in front of you. Looks to be 36, perfectly beautiful as a woman, perfectly handsome as a man. The Galactic Alliance couple is beside you. And that body form is awake that you project. It looks up and it sees the astral body looking down to it. And then you find yourself hovering near the ceiling with the Galactic Alliance couple beside you. The energy of the hue expansion ray we brought back with us from Source is moving down through you, through the Galactic Alliance couple, and through your body for its benefit, and out through the walls of your home. It continues to flow to 3 pyramids stationed on Earth. These are not made of physical plane matter. They're made of the hue. The first time they're manifestations of solid-looking things that aren't made of the physical universe stuff. They cannot be influenced or controlled or manipulated by people or militaries on Earth. They can't do anything with them at all. And they know they're there. There's a fountain inside each one with a statue of Satnam. They are a tool, a device. This energy connects through you to the center of that fountain. It's beamed out through all 4 walls, 2 at the bottom of Earth's deepest oceans, 1 in the Atlantic, 1 in the Pacific, and 1 in the hollowed out interior of a mountain in the Himalayan mountain range. Those 3 beams are beamed outside Earth's atmosphere into one single thicker beam, which connects to a much more massive golden-sided quartz-capped pyramid, hovering stable between 2 stable asteroids in the asteroid field that circles in the orbit of what was a planet between Mars and Jupiter. From there, it's beamed all the way out through space between stars to other pyramids that have been manifesting in this galaxy. Then it's beamed to the galactic core axis of the galaxy. It is not a black hole. Human eyes can't see it, so it appears black. It is a white golden light, a shaft, an axis, a portal, a doorway. And it connects upward. And this energy through you is now going up this shaft and all the way back to Source where we just came from. This is the way the hue expansion ray now works. It doesn't work forward and backward. It's not fickle. It can't go up or down or sideways. Nobody can manipulate it. No consciousness in the lower worlds can do anything to it. And it's moving one way for our benefit, for the first time in a new way. So we're back now. You can wake that body up. You can see the Galactic Alliance couple beside you smile at you and vanish. And then you open your eyes when you're ready. And I will, well, it's a pretty long recording, so 6:40 hour, and we started way late, so just about we did a lot in an hour and 20 minutes or something. And I'll bring this recording to a close, and then we can have a question and answers type of thing.